Foosball.
It's football season. I mean, if you have any plans on Saturday, you got to cancel them.
Let's go. Let's do
I'm
it.
ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Morning Wood. This is a sports show, as always, hosted by two idiots. We are those two idiots. I'm Matthew. I'm joined with my good friend Jason, as always.
Hello.
We're here to talk about sports. Hockey's back. Playoff baseball is in full effect. And football, the greatest
Football season.
sport on the planet.
And football weather is coming out, too. It's getting a little brisk.
I got a hoodie on today. We both got hoodies on today. Not planned.
Hoodie.
It's hoodie season. It's football season. And let's talk about it. Let's start with top of the morning news like we always do. Wide receiver for the Texans, Nico Collins, is placed on IR. This was yesterday morning as of when we're recording this. This was Wednesday morning. They placed him on IR, the Texans receiver. He's going to miss at least 4 weeks with that hamstring injury he suffered against the Bills last weekend. That's not great. The offense did look a little lull after he left. So, unfortunate for them. Unfortunate.
Stephon Diggs got to step up for the boys here.
He does have to step up. I agree. Moving on, another receiver that is hurt. We got Colts wide receiver Michael Pittman. He's dealing with a back injury that he suffered and is now expected to be sidelined for multiple weeks. They haven't given full details on it, but not looking good for the Colts. They've kind of lost a few guys already on the defense side of the ball. Now they lost a key piece on offense. Not great for them. Moving on, Raiders head coach Antonio Pierce announces that they will be starting Aiden O'Connell on Sunday against my Steelers. He's a dog. They are
sacked 8 times.
Dude, that's not great for him, man. Of all the teams to start, like your first start against, you're playing a great front seven. That's not great. But they benched Minshew. Minshew has 4 touchdowns and 5 interceptions in 5 games on the season, and the Raiders are obviously 2-3. Not great. Little bit lull of the expectations I think they had. Also on this team, Devontae Adams is now out for a second week with that, I believe is a hamstring
Future
injury.
Raven, Devontae Adams.
Future, not Raider, Devontae Adams. He will be out second week in a row against my Steelers. Not great for them. Not great for them. Staying in this game, though, my team, my head coach, Mike Tomlin. Actually, this wasn't even announced. This was yesterday. Russell Wilson, for the first time all season, is a full participant in practice on Wednesday.
Mr. Unlimited.
Mr. Unlimited. It is actually expected that he might start on Sunday against the Raiders. This was from a reliable insider who revealed this strong belief. Source says we got some leaks in the organization. Does Russell start on Sunday? I don't know. Hope to God he does, because I'm sick of 18 points a game. Anyway, moving on, Saints head coach announces that Spencer Rattler, the rookie, is going to start on Sunday versus the Bucs. Amazing. Derek Carr is expected to miss multiple weeks with that oblique injury. I saw that play. It didn't even look like he got hit that hard. So I'm surprised.
Yeah. Saints, tough news for the Saints. I mean, Derek Carr didn't look that great, but a rookie quarterback coming in, you're 2-3.
Divisional game.
Lost 3 straight already. You go to the Bucs, or the Bucs come to you. That's not good for the Saints.
It's not good. They got that Bucs offense is in full effect right now.
Yeah.
Unfortunate for the Saints. But that is the top of the morning news. Let's move on.
Let's get into Antonio Brown tweet of the day. Roll the clip.
Kicks a man. Antonio Brown.
Go on social media, man. This is about us. Nobody else, man.
All right, so we have, I mean, if you follow AB, you know what's going on, but this is just an overall, like, the past year and a half, AB on the internet. I mean, he has been on a generational run. He's got the Uno cards, stop your generational run or draw 25. He's got the whole deck in his hands. He is on a generational run right now. We appreciate AB and all of his tweets. because they make our day better every time we look at him. He is a legend, and we appreciate him.
If you don't have his noties on, I'm sorry. Like, I feel bad. You gotta turn those on. It is a generational run.
It really is
unbelievable.
phenomenal.
Let's move on. Let's talk some NFL football. We got our NFL Week 6 picks. Let's get into the schedule here. Starting off, we have a little Thursday night banger. NFC West. San Francisco going to Seattle. Seattle drops the last 2 games. San Francisco has lost 3 of the last 4. Jay, what are you thinking in this game?
See, this is a tough one. I think I'm really leaning 49ers to bounce back here and get a win on the road. It's going to be tough. They're 3-point favorites on the road. They shouldn't have lost last week. This team should be 4-1, maybe undefeated. Just give me the Niners in a divisional matchup.
Wow. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. I have San Francisco in this one. I think this is actually a must-win for them, honestly. Like, it shouldn't be because it feels like they are like 4-1, but they're not, and they need a win here to stay a hold of the division so Seattle doesn't just run away with it here. Yeah. Next game, we got another. Get your coffee, get your breakfast sandwiches ready. We got another London game, back-to-back weeks. Jaguars playing the Bears. No home field advantage in this one. Jacksonville did come off getting their first win. I will start off with this one. I'm actually taking the Jaguars and a little bit of what might seem as an upset against a pretty good Bears team and a good defense. But I think just as a team, as an organization, the Jags need to keep building on this. They have to, and I think they do. So give me the Jaguars.
I'm on the same side as you. I like the Jags as well. If this was in Chicago, I'd probably like the Bears a little bit more, but it feels like the Jags go to London every year. And I think Trevor Lawrence has played in London. Like, this is like his 3rd game, I believe. Like, he's used to it. Now Caleb Williams has to go to London to play. Like, the Jags team is good. Like, they're not a horrible team. They showed up last week. Their offense finally came alive. Yeah. Give me the Jags in London.
I agree.
And then we go to my Ravens, who are hosting the 4-1 Commanders. I looked at the Ravens schedule before the season, and I would say if this was the matchup of the week 6, I'd have been like, you're out of your mind. But it looks like it is. Jaden Daniels coming in to the Ravens' house. I mean, I pick the Ravens every week. So give me the Ravens again. I think we make Jaden Daniels uncomfortable a little bit and we get a win.
Yeah. I just to catch up, I'm gonna actually be on the other side of this one, and I'm gonna take the Commanders. God. And the only reason is because I know Lamar's record against the NFC is very good, but I think just off of the coaching staff here, I think they have the edge actually on this season. I think Washington's coaching staff is coaching out of their mind. In the last 2 weeks, they have a ridiculous point differential. So I'm going to take Washington on the road. Y'all should have lost last week. I think it happens this week.
Lost. Okay. We didn't.
I don't know.
If Lamar doesn't fumble, I mean, you could say that. If he doesn't fumble, we would have won. But whatever, we'll move on.
Yeah, that's true, I guess.
Cardinals go to Green Bay. How you feeling about this game?
This is an interesting NFC matchup because Arizona either plays really well to their competition or just wins, and I don't know how they're doing it, but I'm not as confident in Green Bay yet. Like, Jordan Love as a starter is 1-2. They have 2 weird wins with the backup quarterback, no film, no tape. They played well in those games, but I don't believe in Green Bay, and I'm going to actually go with Arizona on the road, another road dog here, I think, to upset Green Bay. I'm not convinced yet. They should have lost to the Rams. I'm not convinced.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda. They didn't. Give me the Packers to take down the Cardinals. I don't know. Josh Jacobs. They need to get Josh Jacobs going. They got him going a little bit. He finally scored a touchdown last game. Just feed that man. That guy is one of the best backs in the league. Just give him the ball, and then it opens up the passing game for Jordan Love. He doesn't have to be Superman every game. He can make the passes, and I think they do that this week, hopefully, and get a win.
Yeah. Moving on, we got a game that I'm not watching a minute of this, but Houston goes to New England. keeping it short, I'm gonna take the Texans, the 4-1 Texans, on the road here.
Yeah, Drake May's getting his first start as a Patriot. Give me the Texans. I don't love it. I think that Patriots defense could give Stroud some problems, but I just don't think Drake May does enough with the offense just starting in the middle of the season to get it done.
I think D'Amico Ryans gives him hell on
Yeah.
Sunday. Like, I think defensively they just draw up
It's gonna be tough.
a tough scheme for him. So
Yeah. Then we go to New Orleans in a big matchup. The Bucks go to, like you just said, rookie quarterback starting for the Saints. How you feel about this one?
I'm gonna just stick with the Bucks.
Yeah.
The Bucks. I mean, they've always been flirting in my top 10 of the power rankings. They are 3-2. They are very easily should be 4-1. They shouldn't have lost it, in my opinion. The Falcons, they were in that game. If overtime rules were a little bit different, I think they win that. So I'm going to take the Bucks on the road. The Saints kind of depleted, and they are not what they were the first 2 weeks. They look awful as a team. So yeah,
Yep.
give
I
me the
agree.
Bucks.
I'm taking the Bucks as well. Keep that short.
Yeah. Then we got the Philadelphia Eagles coming off a bye week, hosting the Cleveland Doodoo Caca Browns.
Browns.
I'm going to keep it short because I'm never picking the Browns again. I'm going to go with Philly at home here off a bye week. They need a big game here to kind of get things rolling in the right direction. I know there's a lot of like Nick Sirianni on the hot seat. What is this team? Is AJ Brown coming back?
He is back, yeah.
Okay, so they need a big win here, and they have a favorable matchup for that. So I'm going to go with Philly at home.
Yeah, I agree. I think with AJ Brown back is a huge pickup for this offense because with Saquon in the backfield, AJ Brown outside. I don't know if Devonta Smith is back yet or not, but yeah, the Browns. Give me the Eagles at home. Yeah. Go ahead.
And then we got another division game. We got the Colts going to another team coming off a bye week, the Titans. I'm interested to hear you pick this one first.
Yeah, I think Anthony Richardson did not practice today, so I think he's still questionable for the game. We don't know who's going to start at quarterback for the Colts. I kind of like it more if Joe Flacco starts, honestly, just because he won't turn the ball over. He'll be smart with it. But I picked the Colts last week. They let me down. Titans on a bye. I don't know. I'm gonna roll with the Colts again. I think they get it done. But
wow.
I don't know. Why not?
I'm shocked. I'm actually happy that you picked them because I'm on the other side of this. I have the Titans at home winning this one. Again, a big divisional game. They kind of need it to stay in the hunt a little bit here. So give me the Titans off a bye week at home.
Nice.
And then
Another divisional matchup.
Yeah, go ahead.
With the Chargers and the Broncos. Chargers coming off a bye. Jim Harbaugh and the boys. Herbert getting a little healthy. Give me the Chargers. Broncos, they've been playing well. That defense has been looking really solid. But I think the Chargers give them 2 weeks to prepare for a team. Give Jim Harbaugh 2 weeks to prepare, and they get it done.
Yeah, I agree. I really think this is like a big game for the Chargers. Like I need them to come out and kind of show me like they're my sleeper team of the year and like they look good. Obviously, like you said, I trust Harbaugh off a bye week. I think him coming off a bye against a rookie quarterback is very favorable for the Chargers, obviously. And if Herbert is healthy, I still think he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. So, yeah. But a big question mark here for the Chargers on like what they're going to look like moving forward this season. So I like them in this, but I'd like to see them win big. In my opinion. Moving on, we have a historic battle here. Historically bad battle right now, but historic battle all time. We got my Steelers going to Vegas. The Raiders. I have Pitt in this. Obviously, we're playing a backup quarterback, which is favorable for our defense, which is, in my opinion, still the best in the league right now. I don't know about the offense. I'm hoping to God the Russell Wilson rumor is true. I hope he suits up and plays in this game. At least eventually, maybe if we start out slow again. I mean, we have to be one of the worst offenses in the first half of the league. It's embarrassing, but I'm going to hold my tongue because my blood pressure's rising. Give me the Steelers.
I'm going to pick the Steelers as well here.
Hey!
Might be the second time I picked them, but I mean, the Raiders, like Aiden O'Connell is just going to be in hell. Like that whole game. TJ Watt is going to feast. He's probably going to throw like 2 interceptions. And I don't think the Raiders score more than 10 points. I think 10 points is generous to give them in this game. So I think the Steelers win.
I agree with that.
And then we got another divisional matchup, the Falcons and the Panthers. I'm going to keep this one short. I think the Falcons, been high on the Falcons all year. They're finally starting to turn around for me. Their offense looks good. Give me the Falcons.
Yeah, no, I agree with everything you said. Like the Falcons are, kind of showing like what the offense can be potentially. Kirk Chains is up and down the field. But with that being said, give me the Panthers. I'm taking the Panthers at home here. I'm taking them because I got to catch up to you.
You're
and I need
in front of me.
In the NFL?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, that's right. I am in front of you. But I've had some bad weeks, and I need to pull away here a little bit.
Okay.
So give me Andy Dalton. I'm believing in him again. He let me down like every week financially, picks-wise. It doesn't matter. Every time I do anything with this guy, it's terrible. But give me them at home. They're going to shock the world here on Sunday. It's going to be one of those stinkers for the Falcons, trust.
And go ahead.
No, yeah, we have sleeper game of the week. This is a banger of a game in the NFC. We have the Detroit Lions off a bye week going to Dallas, who just beat my Steelers because we suck offensively. How are you feeling about this one?
This one's definitely a banger. I like the Lions coming off a bye versus the Cowboys. I think this one's hard because I don't think the Cowboys are as bad as they've played through the first 5 weeks. They are banged up on defense. I don't know if we have any news on like if Micah Parsons is going to play or the offensive line. I know they took some hits to the offensive line for the Cowboys, but give me the Lions on the road. They're just such a good football team. I think the only way the Cowboys win this game is if it's 53-50 and they outscore the Lions. But give me the Lions to stop the Cowboys a little bit.
Yeah, off a bye week, I'm going with the better coach quarterback combo, in my opinion, right now. Like, I think the Lions just offensively have too much to deal with. Like, if you're a defense and you're game planning for Detroit, it's like they could do it through the air, they could do it on the ground. They have two horses in the backfield. Like,
yeah, they might run all over this Cowboys D.
Yeah, it's too much.
Yeah,
like give me the Lions in that one. Moving on, we have a doo-doo game. A doo-doo Sunday night. How is this a Sunday night game? We got the 1-4 Bengals going to the 2-3 Giants. I know they did just beat Seattle in Seattle, so that's something. I'll go first. I actually, the way that Cincinnati looked last week, okay, against your Ravens, I'm taking Cincinnati on the road. Another road dog. I don't actually know if they're dogs, but just another road team for me. I have Cincinnati. For them to even stay in the hunt in the AFC, they need to win this game. They have a favorable matchup here as far as like they have the better quarterback here, maybe the better coach too. So give me the Bengals on the road in New York.
Yeah, I'm gonna go the other way here. Give me Danny Dimes and the Giants. I think I picked against the Bengals every week. Why stop now? They've got 4 wins. But give me the Giants. Give me that defensive line to make Burrow's life hell in the pocket. You just can't let him sit there and dice you up. Give me that defensive line to make Joe Burrow uncomfortable. Danny Dimes does just enough. I mean, the Bengals defense, anyone can move the ball on the Bengals defense. Give me the Giants.
Okay.
Why not?
That's
and
fun.
then we move to Monday Night Football, the last game of the week. The Bills, another divisional matchup. The Bills go to the Jets, the new look Jets, you could say, with a interim head coach. The whole locker room has to be buzzing. I'll go ahead and pick. Give me the Jets at home.
Wow.
Against the Bills. They get that week with a new head coach. The locker room feel is different. Give me the Jets to have that motivation to win one for their new head coach. Get Aaron Rodgers going against this Bills defense.
Okay, I actually am going the opposite way here. I'm taking Buffalo. I think they losing 2 in a row. They need a bounce back win here in division. I know it's on the road, but they have a favorable new coach. I believe they announced that someone else was going to be calling plays for the Jets as well. So interested to see how that looks. The Jets offensively haven't shown me anything that they're gonna improve, especially off of a short week with a new coach. I like Buffalo in this one. I like the coach and quarterback combo here better. So I'm gonna take Buffalo, but
the Bills.
That Bills. We have 4 teams on a bye week as well. The Chiefs, actually two 5-0 teams, the only 5-0 teams. And I believe the only undefeated teams are on a bye week. Kansas City Chiefs, the Rams, the Dolphins, and the Vikings all on a bye week this week. So, but those are our picks.
Nice.
I need a big week, man. I need a big week.
We're on the other side of a few games here, so we'll see how it goes. But let's move on to the matchup of the week. The 4-1 Commanders come to my town and play the Ravens. If you look at the Commanders' social media, this looks like they're in the Super Bowl this week. But it's week 6. Let's calm down, pump the brakes. It's okay. Calm down a little bit. I know it's the I-95 rivalry. We're an hour and a half away, but calm down. But I understand the hype as far as Commanders fans go. You guys have been bad for a very long time, but I've been enjoying watching Jaden Daniels command this offense. He doesn't look like a rookie when he's playing football.
No.
But I think the key to the game is going to be the Ravens' defensive line against the Commanders' O-line. The Ravens have to get pressure on Jaden Daniels, make him uncomfortable, make him be Superman, make him beat us with his arm. His legs, obviously he can make plays, but the Ravens defense might be the best equipped to handle a QB, a dual threat QB, because they see him all training camp in Lamar Jackson. They play against him in practice. Joe Burrow did just carve up this Ravens defense a little bit. That scares me, but he's been doing that to everyone so far. He leads the NFL in passing yards, passing TDs. He had 324 yards and 3 TDs against this Commanders defense. If the Ravens defense can show up and just bend, don't break, make Daniels uncomfortable, make him, like I said, be Superman. The Commanders have had success on the ground, but the Ravens have the least amount of rushing yards allowed per game through 5 weeks. Make Jaden Daniels beat us like we should do to a rookie quarterback. The Commanders allow the 10th most rushing yards per game. They've been in the lead for most of their games, so that stat is kind of skewed. If the Ravens can just run the ball, give it to Derrick Henry like we should, Lamar maybe can make some plays on his feet, keep Daniels off the field. When he is on the field, make him do everything. But if they can't stop this offense, it's going to be a good old-fashioned shootout like we saw last week against the Bengals. But the Ravens are going to win this football game.
Those are great points. I have like we in the picks. I have Washington in this one. This is a big matchup for the Ravens this week. They got the hot 4-1 Commanders coming in, led by rookie Jaden Daniels. Everybody's talking about him. Everybody's watching him. I've been enjoying watching him. I know you mentioned that. This Commanders team is fun. It's a fun watch, well-coached team. Does Lamar keep up with the dominance he's had against the NFC? We talked about this when they were playing the Dallas Cowboys. Like I said, if you have a game plan for Lamar, it's going to be a long afternoon. And it's hard to prepare for him. And matter of fact, it's even harder to execute that preparation against Lamar. But on the flip side of this, they are playing a similar quarterback like they see every week in practice with Jaden. So maybe that helps him out a little bit. I do trust Dan Quinn as a defensive mind to kind of, game plan for Lamar and throw a good game plan out there for the Ravens. But it is going to come down to the run game of the Ravens and probably keeping this explosive Washington offense off the field. So the Commanders, they do have their toughest game of the season so far. They've kind of played nobody, if I'm being honest. They've won all the games they've won this year. All the teams are a combined 6-15 record on the season. That's not great. So the only team I think they've lost to was the Bucs. So it shows that if you have a good offense, you could probably outscore this team. But they haven't really played anybody, and they haven't beaten anybody with a quarterback in the likes of a 2-time MVP. I like that as far as a favorable, for the Ravens. But I will say, however, with that being said, I know they haven't played anybody, but their point differential is kind of crazy in the NFL right now. In the last 2 games, they have a 76-27 point differential. I know they're not playing anybody, but you're in the NFL. You're playing best of the best. You're destroying teams in the last 2 weeks. That's impressive. But the Ravens on the other side are coming off that crazy game against the Bengals, where defensively they gave up 442 total yards. And like we said, Burrow threw 5 touchdowns in this game. I expect this to be a shootout. I think it can be. I know, defensively there's good minds here, but it's hard to stop these offenses right now, in my opinion. I feel like both of these offenses, what it comes down to win this game is obviously you're going to minimize the punting. You want to not give the ball back to either of these teams. If you can minimize that and, hold the ball, that's important. execute on third down, the money down. That's the big down against these teams. And whoever wins the turnover battle should come out on top. I do have Washington in this one, but I think this is going to be this is a banger game. Two fun quarterbacks, two dual threat guys. I think a lot of explosive plays, a lot of ad lib, extending plays here that we're going to see. Two good coaches. I like it a lot. Big game. Big game.
Ravens by 40.
He's out of his mind. Let's move on.
Let's look at our new power rankings for this week. Week number 5?
Week 6.
We're going into week 6.
Week 6.
That is right. So my top team hasn't changed from last week. I still have the Vikings as the number 1 team in the NFL, 5-0. Vikings.
Yeah. My actually 1 and 2 don't even move. So I'll take the first spot for mine. The Kansas City Chiefs 5-0. They don't move. And my number 2 Minnesota Vikings at 5-0 don't move either. Both on a bye week, so they're not moving anywhere after this weekend either. So
yeah, my top 3 actually don't change. I have the Chiefs at 2 and then the Ravens at 3. Those 3 teams stay where they are from last week for me.
The 3-2 Ravens at 3 is kind of crazy, but
it's not really.
My top 3 teams actually don't move either. I have Detroit at 3-1 there. They're coming off a bye week. I do like them in this matchup against the Cowboys, so I have a feeling they're going to stay in my top 4 for at least the foreseeable week.
Yeah, so the Lions move up a spot for me just because the Niners get bounced out a little bit after their loss to Seattle, but I have the Lions at 4.
Arizona.
Oh, yeah, they lost to Arizona. Sorry.
It's okay. My next team, this is where my top 10 finally has movement, is Houston moves up 1 spot after taking, basically getting a win handed to them by the Bills. They move up 1 spot. They are 4-1. Not as impressive in these wins as maybe some people would hope for, even fans, but they are 4-1 nonetheless, and that is important. I had them moving up 1 spot this week.
Yeah, I have the Texans coming in at 5 for me. They got a win against the Bills. Bills are a good football team. Not too impressive. We'll see how it looks moving forward without Nico Collins in the wide receiver room.
Yeah, that's a tough loss for them. In my 5 spot, I actually have your Ravens at 3-2 coming off that win against the Bengals. Again, that game could have kind of went either way. That was a sloppy end to that game. But it is a divisional game, and that's how it is sometimes. But I do have your Ravens at 3-2. Top 5.
Top five. I have the Commanders moving up 3 spots this week. They deserve to be there, so I'm going to put them there.
I agree. So I had Baltimore actually moving up 2 spots last week. This is mainly all of these teams that are moving up is because the Bills lost and they fall in my top 10. But with Baltimore moving up 2 spots, I have them followed up in the 6th spot by Washington. This is a big game. This is a big game for my top 10. Obviously, this head-to-head matchup for me, 5 versus 6. So I like that a lot. But they do move up 3 spots for me. Another 4-1 team. It's hard not to like and watch the Commanders right now.
Yeah,
that offense is so fun. Yeah.
In my 7th spot, I have the 49ers. I know they're 2-3, but just the roster and the personnel and the coaching, they are a good football team. They can beat anyone in this league. So I'm going to keep the 49ers at 7.
Yeah, I actually have the Bills at 7. They do fall 3 spots for me after last week's loss. I just think with how Josh Allen has played in the last couple of weeks and their receiver room, they have nobody. They should be the first ones on the list for Devontae Adams. Like, they need somebody out there. Coleman's not getting it done. Again, their best receiver right now is the tight end. So they need to figure out at the receiver room like what's going on. But they fall 3 spots to me at 7.
My 8 spot actually doesn't change. I still have the Packers at 8. They squeak out a win against the Rams. I still think this team is a top 10 team. I'm keeping the Packers at 8.
I agree in a sense because I have them at my next spot. But, well, after this spot, I have Tampa Bay at 8. And Tampa Bay falls 2 spots. They do lose against the Falcons in the overtime game. I think that they should have won that game on the road. Tampa Bay's offense has been extremely impressive to me, led by Baker and the boys. So I have them as a complete team in the NFC. They're still good. They're still going to be a playoff team. I have them at 8. I'm not going to bounce them out or overreact or anything. They should have won that game on the road. So I got Tampa Bay.
I have the Bills in the 9 spot. I just think if Josh Allen doesn't play out of his mind, this team's going to lose. They don't have a great defense. They don't have any weapons really on offense that are making big plays. So it's pretty much Josh Allen is in my 9 spot. So if he plays well, they win. If he doesn't, they lose.
Yeah. That's it is unfortunate for the Bills. They really need to get some help for him on offense. But I do have in my number 9 spot. I have Green Bay. I have the Chiefs has back in my top 10. I think they might have been in here before, but they make the list. Like you said, they squeak out against the Rams. I think they have 2 fourth quarter touchdowns, I believe, in that game. I know it was 2 second half touchdowns, but it might have been fourth quarter. But like you said, they squeak out against the Rams. I'm still not convinced on them yet. They haven't really shown too much. They haven't played a division game, and they're in the best division in football right now. So when they start playing the Vikings and the Lions,
the Vikings, I believe
they lost. They did. They did. Okay, so they played 1. But that's a tough division, and I'm interested to see how they look moving forward. But I do have them at 9 at 3 and 2.
To round out my top 10, I do have the Bucks. I do like this team. One of those teams where every week I feel like they could beat a top team, like they could beat anyone in this league. I think they deserve to be a top 10 team.
Yeah. Speaking of beating any team in the league, my number 10 spot is 49ers. It's hard to keep a 2 and 3 team in the top 10, but like you said, just personnel when healthy, even when not healthy, and coaching like this. I truly believe the 49ers could beat anybody in my top 10 right now, any given Sunday. Like, they are a really good football team. They just need to get healthy, and that's why that game tonight is so big and important.
It is.
But let's
Nice.
talk college football, Jay.
We got maybe the best weekend in college football this
So far,
year.
easily.
So far for sure, but maybe in the whole year.
Possibly.
Let's get into our picks for the week. We have, what is that? 8
games, baby.
8 games, week 7. First off, we don't have a ranked matchup here, but kind of a banger of a game. Washington at Iowa. I don't even know where I'm going to go with this one yet. So why don't you take the reins here? I'll feed off you.
I'll start off. I actually have Washington in this one. I like them coming off the big win against Michigan. I think they showed that offensively they can move the ball and they can score some points. Iowa's shown that they can't really do that as much. Iowa kind of a letdown season here, in my opinion, for the Hawkeyes. So I like the Huskies to come march into Iowa and kind of maybe beat the brakes off Iowa, in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like your point about the offense. I think Iowa, obviously known for just being defensive and not scoring a ton of points. I like Washington to score more than Iowa to win, but their offense is too good, and Iowa just really can't get the ball moving. So give me Washington.
Yeah.
And then we go to the Red River rivalry, baby. Texas at Oklahoma. Quinn Ewers back for the Longhorns. I'm going to make it easy for you. Give me the Texas Longhorns, baby. Horns up.
I'm on the same side of you. This is a big game, historic game. So much coming into this game with this rivalry. A lot of moments, a lot of memories. I think it'll be a little bit closer just with the energy Oklahoma's going to bring in that environment. They know what type of game this is. It's a big boy rivalry.
Yeah.
But I will say I do favor. I think, is Ewers back in this?
He should be back, yes.
Should be back. So I like, obviously, number 1 Texas. They've looked like the most complete team all season, maybe besides Ohio State. But of who they've played, Texas has a more impressive strength of schedule at the moment. I like Texas to win, but I like I said, I think it will be a little bit closer than some people expect. Obviously, we're coming off a weekend where there was just upsets everywhere. So I think Texas might take Oklahoma a little bit lightly. So I like it in a close game, but I do have Texas winning.
Okay.
Moving on, we got the number 4 Penn State Nittany Lions, baby. They travel to the West Coast. They go to USC, your favorite team ever. Who do you got in this one?
I definitely have Penn State in this one. I think USC, the newcomer to the Big Ten, I mean, they're just not ready for this Big Ten football. Give me the Penn State Nittany Lions to put a smackdown on the Trojans.
Oh boy, not the Trojans. Yeah, I'm gonna lean the same way. I have Penn State winning this one. They've looked really good quietly. I said this when they were like 9th in the country. Yeah. Obviously favorable for them that, some teams have fallen, especially in the SEC. But I still think even at 4, they're quiet. They're still quiet. Nobody's really talking about them. And I think this could be a statement game for them. Welcome to the Big Ten USC. This is what it's like playing some Big Ten football. So give me the.
It's kind of a must win for Penn State if they want to kind of be in the conversation at the end of the year.
Yeah, I think
Like
the
they
only
can't
game.
lose. They can't lose this, and then they play Ohio State at the end of the
Yeah,
season. Like they can't lose.
I think that's the only test they really have left
Yeah.
after this game is Ohio State. So
And then we go to a Big 12 matchup. Arizona at number 14, BYU, Brigham Young University. They're the Cougars, right? I believe they're the Cougars.
yes,
I don't know how I want to go in this one. I think Arizona has a good football team, and BYU, I'm just waiting for them to have a stinker. But I'm not going against the undefeated Cougars. Give me BYU at home to get it done.
yeah, this is a huge Big 12 matchup. I mean, the games this week are insane. Like, as just a fan of college football, this is awesome. Arizona has had some lulls on the season. They were looking to come into the season to stay in the top 25, stay ranked, but they've fallen a couple times, unfortunately. But I think they do kind of bounce back in this game a little bit. I'm going to take BYU in this one, but I think this is going to be a big game. This is, I think, BYU's biggest test so far, possibly. So I like Arizona to kind of show up a little bit here. I don't like that. I don't have them winning, but I think this could be a game where they kind of like, get some motivation here, kind of roll off of, even if it's a tough loss, they can kind of build off that. But I like BYU in this one. I think they go 6-0 here.
Let's go.
Next up, easily the game of the week, our matchup of the week. We're going to break it down in a little bit. But number 2 plays number 3, a top 5 matchup. You got to love to see it. I don't even want to pick yet. So.
I don't know. I knew you were going to pass it to me before you picked.
What do you have in this one?
I think I'm going to go with Ohio State in this game. Just because Oregon's offensive line has been, they've been questionable protecting Dylan Gabriel. I think Ohio State can get to Gabriel and cause trouble, even maybe for some turnovers. And I think they just get that running game going against Oregon. I am nervous about Oregon's just firepower through the air against this Ohio State defense. But give me the Buckeyes.
Yeah, I'm actually on the same spot as you. I'm gonna keep it a little short because we're about to break all of it down. But I do like Ohio State. I think this is just a tough game to choose. Like you said, Oregon could come out they could come out Saturday and score 13 points or 313 points. Who knows? But I do have Ohio State winning this. It's a great game, great battle in the Big Ten. So love to see it. Moving on to an SEC matchup. In the top 15, we got number 9 Ole Miss coming off a smacking of I was high on South Carolina. And then we got, in my opinion, probably the most overrated team in the country. They go to LSU. They're not really that overrated. I just hate that they beat South Carolina the way they did. Anyway, they go to number 3, LSU. I'm going to take Ole Miss. I voted against or picked against them last week. They said you're an idiot. So I'm not going to do that mistake again. I know they're on the road here, but they bounced back big. Kiffin and that coaching staff had them rolling in South Carolina. They just had a big win on the road. It is tough to go back-to-back, big wins on the road, but I like them to do it. I like the quarterback and coach matchup in this game. I think it favors Ole Miss. So give me Ole Miss, the Rebels.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said. Give me Ole Miss. Give me Jackson Dart. I just think they score more points than LSU. I don't think LSU is going to be able to keep up offensively.
Yeah.
And then we have another Big 12 matchup. The undefeated Iowa State Cyclones go to tough place to play. They go to Morgantown and play the West Virginia Mountaineers. I don't know where to go with this one yet. How about you pick first before I go?
Well, let me save you the time because I know who I'm picking.
Yeah, I don't know yet.
And it's not going to be Iowa
That's
State.
That's what I was thinking too, bro.
Give me West Virginia in a little upset at home to take down the undefeated, a little bit overrated Iowa State. I like West Virginia in this one. Like you said, Morgantown's going to be rocking. West Virginia's been a little bit on a lull this year. They've had some unfortunate losses, but I like the upset vibes here in Morgantown, and I like to see the goalpost get thrown in some river in West Virginia, just like we just came off of the Alabama and Vanderbilt game.
I just don't know how to go because we picked every team the same. So I kind of want to just go on the other side of this game just so we're different.
Have we picked
So,
the same teams every
yeah.
game? Oh, God.
Give me Iowa State to get a dub.
This guy's
Just because, why not? Give me
Okay.
the Cyclones, number 11. They're not frauds. They're going to go get a dub.
It's going to be a great game. A lot of great games. Finishing out our picks with the 8th game of the weekend, we got number 18 Kansas State going to my favorite team, Colorado Buffaloes. Who do you got in this one?
I have Kansas State in this one. This is the toughest matchup for Colorado so far. They did play probably their best game in the Deion Sanders era last or 2 weeks ago. I don't think they played. Was it last week or 2 weeks? I don't remember.
Colorado State was 2 weeks ago, yeah.
No, the one they played USF, I think.
Oh, yeah. That was last week.
I think it was whatever that was. That they played well. They played their best game probably ever that game. But Kansas State, it's just a different personnel. It's just a top 25 team. Give me Kansas State.
Yeah. So they played UCF. When was this?
Oh, UCF.
Yeah, they blew the brakes off UCF.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, in this game, it's really easy for me to pick because I'm gonna go with Kansas State too. I'm not gonna lie. I would love to see them go into the
Just
Boulder
dominate.
and just dominate these clans. I'm sick of hearing about this team, but it is a good matchup. I'm gonna take, like I said, Kansas State. I actually think this could be a little bit closer than I would like. So,
they're 3.5 point dogs. So
Yeah.
the books think they're going to be close.
I think it could. It's on the road. It's going to be a high energy game.
It's going to be a banger.
High energy game. Yeah, it's 10:15 p.m. and for East Coast, obviously. But I think the energy is going to be lively in Colorado. They're coming off of back-to-back wins here, so I think it could be good. But
Yeah,
that's our 8 games.
that's a banger.
That's a slate and a half.
We're only on one other side, and it's Iowa State WVU.
And I'm going to win it.
Nah,
We're going to talk
That's
about.
wins.
We're talking about the best game of the week.
Number 2 and 3.
Let's break down the biggest Big Ten matchup we've gotten so far. We got a Big Ten banger here in the Pacific Northwest. Number 2 goes to number 3. It doesn't get any better than that, really. The only better scenario is 1 plays 2. So this is crazy. Oregon's offense, do they show up, Jason, against the Buckeyes defense, who are giving up a whopping 6.8 points per game? Sure, they haven't played anybody. Whatever. They're giving up not even a touchdown a game. The Ducks have struggled in the red zone this season compared to last year when Bo Nix was leading it. Gabriel's coming off of a 2-interception game, which he hasn't done in almost 3 years until I put money on him. Both turnovers were on the goal line in this game last week against Michigan State. He's made some mistakes that are a bit questionable, especially with, like you said, that high-powered offense they have. And they've tailored it to him to be successful. So they got to come out hot in this game. I think a win here for the Ducks basically solidifies them as the playoff berth for the Big Ten, in my opinion. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Ohio State's strength of schedule will come back favorable. But if they beat Ohio State here, they have nobody rest of the season besides Michigan. It's their only test of the season, and we've all seen that Michigan is doo-doo. So, in my opinion, if Oregon wins here, I think they're in as a berth in the Big Ten. But on the flip side, it would be a huge win for Ohio State, but it's not as easy to say that they'll be a certified playoff berth in the Big Ten because they travel to College Station in 2 weeks and they play number 4 Penn State on the road. So it's not as easy. Again, it's not as easy to say that they're going to be in a shoe-in for the Big Ten. But overall, I just think the amount of moves Ohio State has made in the offseason, their coaching, how good Will Howard has been playing this year. This guy has 12 touchdowns to only 3 interceptions and 178 passer rating. I think it's just too much for the Ducks to keep up with in this game. And like we've talked about, the Ducks have had some lulls here. They only beat Iowa State, or not Iowa State, it was Idaho State by 10 points week 1. Yeah. They struggled against Boise State. They gave up 34 at home. I know they got Michael Myers in the backfield out there for the Broncos, but overall, I just think that the Oregon Ducks have not looked as buttoned up and as polished as the Buckeyes. The favorable thing for Oregon is they're at home. They don't got to travel. They got a team coming way out west to play them, so that might be favorable for them. But I just think Ohio State right now is playing too well, and their offense is hitting on every cylinder right now. I just think that the Ohio State Buckeyes are too much to keep up with for Oregon.
Yeah, I'll piggyback off a couple of things you said. Like you said, Oregon started pretty slow to start the season. Some question marks early. They won their first 2 games of the season by a total of 13 points. But they've turned it around recently behind the arm of Dylan Gabriel, the quarterback, who's completed 77% of his passes. And Oregon has won their last 3 games by an average of 26 points. The key matchup for me is going to be the Ohio State DBs versus the Oregon wideouts. They have probably arguably the best receiving corps in the nation, led by Tez Johnson. The Ohio State secondary has been kind of questionable to start the season against really no one. They've allowed QBs to complete 66.7% of their passes. And like I said, mostly against lesser competition. If there is a weakness in the Oregon Ducks passing game, it's the pass protection. Like I said, Oregon has allowed 7 sacks in 5 games. Dylan Gabriel is under pressure on 23% of his dropbacks. If the Ohio State D-line can get in there, change the game, get Gabriel off his spot, don't let him get those high percentage completion passes, and maybe force some turnovers in the backfield. And then on the other side, Ohio State getting that run game going against the Ducks. Like you mentioned, Ashton Genty diced this Ducks defense up for 192 yards and 3 touchdowns. Crazy. Ohio State's going to look to get that run game going, exploit that front 7 of the Ducks. So I think it's really the trenches, that O-line on both sides. If they can get it going for the Ohio State running game, and then the Ohio State defensive line, get pressure on Gabriel, make him uncomfortable, force some mistakes. Like you said, he had 2 interceptions on the goal line. If they can do stuff like that, they can win this football game.
Yeah, I think Gabriel coming into this game with 77% completion is leading the FBS right now. I know he was at 81 something going into the Michigan State game, so he's known for protecting the ball usually. So that game last week was a little bit eye-opening, those 2 interceptions. Like you said, if Ohio State can cause him to kind of make some mistakes and get the ball, if they can win the turnover and get the ball more and have more opportunities for the offense, I think it's going to slide into Ohio State's favor. But nonetheless, that's our matchup of the week. What a banger in the Big Ten.
I'm excited for that one. Prime time.
Big time game.
Let's gamble on some sports. We have an Underdog slip for the NFL this week. If you're not on Underdog, you need to get on Underdog right now. Use code WOOD. Use code WOOD on Underdog. Get Joe Burrow's total passing yards at over a half a yard for this weekend and a $1,000 deposit match. When you sign up on Underdog, use code WOOD.
Yes, sir.
First prop we have Cade Otton, higher than 33.5 receiving yards. He's hit this over in 3 straight games. The Bucs offense is one of the best passing attacks in the league behind Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, moving on to the next leg, we got James Conner at 69.5 rushing yards. He's hit this in back-to-back games. He ran for 86 yards against a really, really good 49ers defense. I like him to go over on this. The Packers are giving up over 110 rushing yards per game, and this might just very well be the best running back they faced. Give me James Conner's over. I like that.
Conner. Give me CD, higher than 82.5 receiving yards. This Detroit defense gives up the 5th most passing yards through the air. They have a stout run defense. They are a pass funnel defense. Give me CD and Dak to get going a little bit against this Detroit defense.
Yeah, that's a good pick, especially coming off of the lull kind of game he had against us. Kind of got shut down in the second half, so big game for CD coming up. After that, we got Saquon Barkley at 19.5 receiving yards. He's hit this in 2 of the last 3 games. They're coming off a bye week. I like them to get to the ball to Saquon in this one. It's just a good safety blanket. We love screens. Little screens, little dump-offs. Get Saquon the ball. They usually win when they give him the ball. So
it's a good pick. Stephon Diggs, higher than 5.5 receptions. Nico Collins out for the foreseeable future. Nico was averaging 10 targets per game before the game he got injured. The volume from CJ Stroud has to go somewhere. Diggs is that next guy, higher than 5.5 receptions.
Yep, those are all hitting. Those are our 5 legs. Also, sign up. Get that Joe Burrow free. This guy threw for 1,000,000 yards last week and 5 touchdowns. He's probably going to get the over. He's going to get 1 yard. So lock that in. We'll see y'all on Tuesday when that hits. You guys can all just laugh to the bank.
And then I got some picks for college and NFL, going for some spreads here. Like we said, Penn State going to make a statement win at USC. USC is dead to me. They are trash. Penn State -5. I like that to -50.
Okay.
They're putting a beat down on them. And then, like we said, Kansas State -3.5 against Colorado. That feels too short for just the personnel and the quality of team. Colorado did look good last week, but Kansas State is just a better football team, in my opinion, and 3.5 just feels too short. And then give me Pitt -3.5. This offense is cooking with squirrel grease. Cal just lost a heartbreaker to Miami at home. Then they have to travel across the country to go into Pitt and play an undefeated team. Give me Pitt -3.5. That's a tough place to play. Moving to the NFL, the Bucks -3.5. Derek Carr is out for the Saints. Spencer Rattler will get the start. That feels way too short as well. The Bucks offense can score. I don't think this Saints offense is going to really look great with Spencer Rattler. Bucks -3.5 feels really good. And then the Chargers coming off a bye. Jim Harbaugh's going to get the boys right against the Broncos. That Broncos defense does scare me a little bit, but I think the Chargers get the run game going. They do enough to cover the 3 points. Bang.
Those are all hitting, guys.
It's never not hit.
Those are all hitting. Like we said, download Underdog, sign up, use code WOOD, lock that parlay in. That's hitting. All of those are hitting. What a weekend of football.
Yeah, we got a banger.
Are we kidding me?
The Ravens are winning by 50. Ohio State's winning. It's going to be good. It's going to be a good time.
We'll say 1 a.m. Eastern when Colorado's down by 50. There are bangers everywhere. Like there's just bangers everywhere.
Bangers.
What a weekend.
Bangers.
I'm excited. What else? That's it, right? Hey, they're on a bye week. They're still going to win on a bye week somehow. They're still.
Kevin O'Connell, best coach in the league. Defense, Van Ginkel scores touchdowns every week on defense. We
got bangers everywhere. We got a banger tonight, Seattle and San Francisco. Banger game, big divisional game. And I think that's it.
Skull.
This guy's an idiot. I'm an idiot. We're both idiots. What a weekend. I'm excited. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Leave some comments. Yes. Talk about whatever you want in the comments. Let us know some of your picks, what you got thinking this weekend. Who you taking, who you liking. Let us know in the comments. And we'll see y'all next Tuesday. This has been Morning Wood. We love y'all.
Enjoy the weekend.
A big weekend.
Just watch football all day on your couch.
That's it.
That's it.
That's all I do. Bye.